we had, and we just never let go. So we're all operating out of that without even realizing that why do I, every time I am in a certain situation, I react like this, or I break down, or I'm fearful. So it's all coming from the past. I had a client who came to me for, she was a journalist with CNN IBN, and she came to me with fear of darkness. So she couldn't remember. I took her back into this, into her childhood. She just couldn't remember. So under hypnotherapy, under deep hypnotherapy, with the second session, we could manage to go deeper. And in the second session, she went into a past life where she was buried alive in a coffin. So that's where her fear came from. So once she witnessed that, so it's very interesting how hypnotherapy works. Once we are ready to heal our past, only then can we move forward. So it's sometimes we're not willing to go back into the past, but once we do, we don't regret it because we know that we're going to let go of something. So what is hypnotherapy? Hypnotherapy is a form of psychotherapy used to create subconscious changes in the form of new and positive responses in our thoughts, attitudes, behaviors, and feelings. Hypnotherapy is a very nice and integrative way to heal the body, mind, and spirit. And it is a gentle and non invasive process. So let's look at how effective hypnosis is. So there is a very interesting study by the American Health Magazine, and it shows results with 3 different kinds of therapies: psychoanalysis, behavior therapy, and hypnotherapy. So you have the results. And hypnotherapy is 93% recovery after 6 sessions. So hypnotherapy is actually a very, very powerful tool. It's a very powerful tool to work on any of these issues: fears, phobias. I get a lot of clients with a lot of diseases, diabetes, and stomach problems, BP, anxiety, lot of problems, blood circulation, piles, PCOD, even with cancer. And it's, many of you might know already that all disease comes from dis-ease of energy. So wherever this dis-ease of energy happens, a disease is created. And every disease is linked with a certain emotion. So when we look at cancer, cancer is a lot to do with resentment, a lot to do with resentment, and maybe even guilt. If we look at throat problems, again, it's to do with low self-worth, feeling rejected. So a lot of women actually have these issues. Why do so many women in today's day and age have thyroid problems and PCOD? So many people have this. Fibroids, these things are like so prevalent right now. So when emotional disease happens, it becomes a physical disease, a disease on the physical plane. So these diseases have been created by our own selves, by our own thoughts, by our patterns, by our conditioning. And if we have created them, we can undo them as well. So talking about conditioning, I just want to share a little analogy of a baby elephant who, just want to share how we get conditioned. A baby elephant, if it's tied up, with a rope to a stake on the ground, the elephant, he was born free. He's moving around trying to, pull away, but he can't escape. The radius is just so small that he can just go around a little bit, a little circumference. So this baby elephant tries to pull, try to break free, but it cannot because it's being held by something. So this elephant grows up, becomes a powerful adult. And the elephant is so powerful that it doesn't know its own power. It can actually uproot an oak tree, but it's still stuck to that huge elephant is stuck to that tiny little stick and that little rope. So this is the power of conditioning. So we all are living, on some level, there is this conditioning that is holding us. And we don't even know about it. Why we behave the way we do, why do we feel the way we do, certain you know, certain things, certain events happen, and they give us, kind of take us back to the past, and we remember those memories. So this is all the power of conditioning. So we have to learn to decondition ourselves, and that is when the healing starts. So again, when we talk about healing, when we talk about wanting to move ahead, wanting to recover from the past trauma, we have to go into emotions. We have to look at emotions. Because emotions are the basis for everything that happens in our lives. They propel us to think, to act, to say, and feel that the way that we do. If we split the word emotion, like I said, it's emotion. We are supposed to let it flow. But how many of us can actually do that? If we are upset at our spouse, okay, we can shout a bit or whatever, but can we really vent out fully? No, because we don't feel safe to do so. Or we feel it's not okay because we're being watched. We're supposed to behave in a certain way. So we don't really vent out totally. The primitive people actually could do that. They could just be themselves totally. If they were upset, they would yell, they would shout, they would hit, whichever way, but they would vent out. And if they were sad, then they grieved till finally it just settled down. So in therapy, this is what we do. We take the client into their inner space. So they come with an issue, and we say, okay, how are we going to heal it? How are we going to take this forward? So it starts with the client talking about his issue. And again, emotions are the things that come up. So when we are not able to express freely, what do? We just hold it in. Sometimes it's our tears, sometimes it's our pain, sometimes it's grief. We just hold it in because we are trying to be brave and we don't want to show the world. We want to show that we're brave, but it's okay. It's totally okay, and it's necessary to honor your feelings, to honor who you are. Your emotions are you. So it's beautiful to honor ourselves, honor our feelings, honor whatever is happening within us, and come to an acceptance of that. Only when we come to that acceptance is when we can move ahead. So repressed emotions create energy blocks and disease in the physical realm. So the reason we suffer from our emotion is not because of the emotion itself, but because of our resistance to that particular emotion. Some emotions which I thought of. So, but I would like you all to also share. I may not have thought of all the emotions. Anger. So, how many of us feel anger sometimes? Okay, that's a very common. That's a very common emotion. So, anger. What does it do? Does it help us? No, it doesn't solve anything. It builds nothing. It destroys. It can destroy marriages. It can destroy relationships. Grief. We lose something, we lose a relationship, we lose a part, a really deep part, a friendship, or something really dear to us. So, what about grief? We just hold it, we just keep it. Again, we don't want to show it because we are brave. We have to show this part of ourselves that we're in charge, we are in control of ourselves. Oh, but it's okay to sit, to have a good cry, to spend time. There are some cases, some clients come to me because they've lost a loved one and they haven't grieved. So we just allow them that space to just sit and grieve for the whole session. It's all right. And once they've grieved, once they've let out the emotion, let it flow because they blocked it. So once they let it flow, then everything starts to flow inside us. Anger and resentment are the worst things that we can hold inside us. So, holding anger or resentment is actually like holding a piece of hot burning coal in our hands with the intention, because it's aimed at someone, with the intention to hurl it at someone else. So, what happens before we do that? Our own hand is burned, we burn ourselves. So, again, there's no point holding it. Pain. Now, pain is something that I get a lot of clients with. And many times, pain is a lot to do with guilt. I mean, that this is what I figured with my own practice. So, pain again is something that comes for a reason, it comes to teach us something. that we are holding on to something and we need to let it go, otherwise the pain won't go. So coming to the processes of healing, this is the different processes of therapy that we do. And these are just like sub-processes. So the first one, like I said, is willingness to heal, which is so important. A willingness to own up that there is a problem. Okay, there is, and I would like to heal it. So once the willingness to heal is there, the client or the person comes in with that, with a faith that, okay, I am going to heal it and I'm going to feel better about it now. The second is deconditioning. Deconditioning, again, if we look at the story of the baby elephant and how it got conditioned, similarly, where we are today is because of our conditioning of our past events, past trauma, whatever we have stored in the mind, in the subconscious, stuff maybe we've stored over lifetimes, and maybe our patterns over lifetimes are getting repeated, and we're just, repeating the story again and again. And many of us are living our present lives like that too, and many of us can recognize it. So deconditioning is a process that is very, very important. We do a study of all the belief systems the clients has. We work on beliefs, we work on the conditioning, we work on their emotions, we work on how they created it and how they gave themselves these messages. I'm not good, this is not right, I can't do it, I can never do this. So there are all these rules that they make themselves. So who made these rules? We did. Nobody else set these rules for us. We did. So if we did that, we can change it too. Using hypnotherapy, we work with deconditioning of all these rules that we have made for ourselves, all these beliefs, all these patterns which are conditioning us, and they're not positive, they're negative. We need to rework them. So we work on them, release them, and then we put in the positive patterns. And we do this under hypnosis with suggestion work. So hypnosis is a very powerful way of retraining the mind, and it's like rewiring it. So it's a very, very beautiful and a very empowering process. So when we do this work, we have to always end up working with the inner child. The inner child work is it is a term that many of the therapists know, but then there are others who do not know about this. So inner child work is the work that is done to heal past trauma. So when we heal past trauma, it's about our past, stuff that happened with us, a fight with someone, a certain feeling we've stored, or a whole memory, a whole event that happened which just left us so upset and we are not able to release it. Could be a death of someone, could be something we lost, anything. So when we do inner child work, what happens is we take the client or the person is taken into the past, wherever that issue is coming from. So say a person, my last client who came to me was because of hair fall and PCOD.